What if I told you that the circumcision debate guy has actually challenged me to a debate or attacked me on other topics? What would you guess the other topic was? If you had to guess, I'll give you a couple of seconds to come up with something and just take a guess. What else would a shield for men take issue with about my channel? If you guessed anime, you are correct, and you probably saw me post about it on Blue Sky where I made fun of it. Defending anime from obsessive Marcel, bad empanada. He is defending anime from obsessive Marcel, bad empanada. And I think it says a lot that this guy felt attacked by something that was not actually directed at like men's rights or whatever at all. He is exactly the stereotype that you would think that someone like this is.
So recently, Bad Empanada did a cringe video bashing anime and bashing anime fans, in particular male anime fans. So yeah, and obviously does this because most fans of anime are men.
This is an awful injustice. Can you get a real problem? Did he actually say that?
So yeah, and obviously he does this because most fans of anime.
And he said he does this because most fans of anime are men.
Are men.
Not justice. That would have been so funny if he did, though.
And he doesn't like men. He is a man hater.
I'm a man, actually. I have the M word pass.
Male feminist, tradcon, Marcel.
I'm a male feminist, tradcon, Marcel. Wouldn't tradcons agree with you? How does that work? Like, tradcons are on... You are a tradcon. What are you saying?
Okay. And anime doesn't bring status, so of course he has to bash.
Anime doesn't bring status. See, this is like a theme. He said this about status in the last video. Like, anime doesn't bring status. What?
Anime, and he's kind of obsessed with that. And he also pedo smears.
Kind of obsessed with that because I made one video on it. Anime
fans and anime in general. He's sort of obsessed.
I don't need to pedo smear anime and anime fans. They do that more than enough themselves. Okay, there's a reason why. Like, every time you get a comment on a YouTube video from someone with like an anime avatar, half the time it's of a child. There's a reason for that. And it's because the anime is specifically directed at much anime is specifically directed at the pedophile audience, either subtly or just openly. And the ones that aren't are like cartoony, like childish remakes of themes and concepts that are done far more seriously and far better in basically any other medium. Like, people like to bring up, say, like Death Note for like an adult anime. Have you watched fucking Death Note? It's about like genius high schoolers who like go on like 5-minute long evil monologues about their master fucking plans. Like, even the anime that these people claim is like so good and like so mature and like not for kids, nothing like that. No. It really is just for kids. Like, Death Note is a show for like early teens. If I showed Death Note to like the average like 25 to 35 adult who's never watched anime before, they would tap out very quickly. That shit is embarrassing. Maybe Death Note is like an outlier, but I don't think it really is. Most anime is incredibly corny. There might be anime that sort of owns the corniness and does it well, but I haven't watched any of that. The good anime, the actual good anime that is good at what it tries to do, is like the children's anime, like Dragon Ball Z. That's just like a cartoon for kids. That's fine. But when you get into the people who are obsessed with anime, like anime as a genre, as adults, rather than like, oh, I like a couple of specific shows or whatever, or I like a couple of specific movies, that is when it gets fucking weird. Like, people who consider anime like a hobby, like a fandom, rather than just another genre.
With pedo smearing, which is weird in itself. And yeah, and by the way, I'm not going to show any clips from his video, by the way, because he is a false copyright striker.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to...
what happened is I copyright claimed one of these guys' videos. And I did it in like the nice way. So one of them made a video from a very emotional video that I made about Palestinian kids being massacred in Gaza. This one. So they took this video and they edited parts of it to make it look like I was talking about like men's rights. And that I was like on the verge of tears, not talking about massacred Palestinian children, but about men's rights. And that's not fucking on. That's disgusting. That is so fucking low and disgusting. So I copyright claimed it. And I did it in a nice way too, where you get a week to respond and voluntarily remove it, or you get a copyright strike. And the guy did not respond. So after the week, he automatically got a copyright strike. He could have just voluntarily removed it and not had his channel action anyway, but he chose not to. So yeah, you made a low effort, non-fair use video where you edited my words to make it look like when I was actually talking about an incredibly serious topic, I was actually like talking about fucking circumcision and men's rights activism or some shit. I gladly copyright strike that, and I copyright struck it completely legitimately as well, because it was not fair use. It was my video with like a filter added to it and cut up. That's not fair use. Let's see what else my man has to say about anime.
What he said in his video and replied to it from memorization alone. So he basically...
he Googled... He has ready here anime with war themes and anime with deep themes Google searches. He's going to show us. He's going to show us that anime is actually really serious. Let's go over this, okay? Attack on Titan. That's just an anime, again, about like heroic teenagers, about high schoolers who are like superhuman heroes. And they all have squeaky voices and they all look like they're perennially 14 years old. And it's also like fascist, just overtly fascist. I know enough about it to know that. Anime with deep themes. That's the thing. These sorts of animes are like, they're made so that adults can feel like their childhood obsession still caters to them. They're made for people who did not grow out of cartoons. Basically all of it is very similar to that. The one that I know of here that is not like one, there's two that I can comment on. Legend of the Galactic Heroes is for people who like want Star Trek, but way worse and animated. It's basically an anime niche thing for people who don't know what Western sci-fi is, because it's just heavily inspired by it and basically robs it from it in every way, shape, and form. Or people who like are obsessed with anime and specifically want just an anime that does worse what has already been done, way better in every other medium, but it's far more suited to the task as well. Because every single character doesn't look like a fucking baby-faced teenager. Grave of the Fireflies is obviously a serious adult animated film. No problem with that. The rest of this shit, I do not know about it, and I do not want to know about it. But I mean, I can tell you just from, look at this one, for example. You can look at the fucking thumbnail. There's like a blonde-haired girl with like a triangle face and massive blue eyes who looks like a fucking caricature of a child. And I'm sure in canon she's like 25 years old or whatever, but I think it's funny that even when you Google popular anime with war themes, like serious themes, you still get shit like that popping up, which just proves my point. Like, what is that art? That's so fucking bad. Triangle face, massive blue eyes, edgy black hair guy looking away from the camera while holding like a blue lightsaber thingy. Whoa, I'm so cool. If you watch that, you are a fucking perennial child. It's like still watching Star Wars in your 40s, but worse, because Star Wars has less pedophilia. Let's see what else our friend has to say here.
Said that like anime is only for kids or something, and he brought up and that's really the only anime that he named there in his little rant video, right?
Yeah, I brought it up as an example of like a normal, acceptable anime made for kids. The same thing, you know, animated Western animated stuff is directed at children primarily as well, for a good reason. Kids like animated stuff. It's more engaging for them. It also allows you to like pursue more fantastical things more easily than like live action does. And kids like that sort of thing. Look, if you're defending dumb animation about like hyper competent superhero high schoolers being attacked by like flesh giants in a gated city, you need to get the fuck out of here. You are not an adult. You have not grown up yet. Liking that sort of thing, defending it is deep, is about equivalent to like it's equivalent to like being an adult who thinks the Hunger Games is like an awesome deep book / movie series. That's what this sort of anime is, except with more pedophilia. Again, they both share the same sort of themes all the time. Hyper competent like high school age kids who usually look like children and who are like heavily like infantilized. Like girls always have like extremely squeaky voices and look like kids, like saving the world or whatever. It's the same sort of thing as like young adult fiction, which you know normal to watch that when you're like 13 or 14, not normal to watch when you're like a 30-year-old adult man. Especially given that the anime side of that has like heavily implied pedophilia, which is pedophilia constantly, and like sexualized teenagers at best, sexualized children at worst.
And yeah, he didn't bring up any examples of our anime, right?
Everyone knows what I'm saying is true.
Shit, right? He actually
I don't know what it's strategy.
You know, he really.
This is really like the worst thing. This is like what's important to you, man. What is important to you is this and circumcision. You need a real problem, dude.
Any examples, which indicates he doesn't really know anything about anime. So why do you talk about it? If you don't watch anime, if you don't like anime, why do you talk about it? It's like he only does this to posture to his female audience. Right?
What?
That's only
is my audience female? I didn't know that. Welcome, girls.
Why does this? But yeah, he talked about bullshit like, for example,
do you think that girls don't like anime as well? Like, there are so many women who are like adult anime fans as well. We're just as embarrassing as men.
There is nothing of substance in anything. Right? Okay, first of all,
he's gonna prove it to me by, you know, I just talked about this, like proving anime with war themes, anime with deep themes. Like, let's Google like children's books with deep themes. Hey, look, there's children's books with deep themes as well. The Giving Tree, The Rainbow Fish, The Boy Who Wanted to Be a Deer. Children's books with war themes. Oh, look, there's plenty of those as well. I don't know if The Diary of Anne Frank is a children's book, but okay. This does not prove that anything that I'm saying is wrong. I already like responded to what he's about to say beforehand, because I mean, you can tell just from looking at the screen what he's about to say. And let's look at his other tabs. Anime, like PDF, anime affliction on human something, Japan, anime watching frequency, petition, calling on Reddit to what? Something about men's rights, I'm sure. And the other tab is men's rights movement. Average men's rights browser.
There are many anime that actually talk about stuff that he talks about in a lot of his videos.
Show me the anime denouncing Zionism.
Like war and...
Still, an anime denouncing Zionism through the medium of like hyper-competent 14-year-olds saving Palestine from Israel would not be acceptable. That would be fucking bizarre and weird. That would be bizarre. That would be incredibly uncomfortable and weird. So even if that was true, like, what the hell? We don't need like that's what anime basically is. Anime was yassification before yassification, except imagine if yassification like de-aged you to 14 years old every time. That's what like the anime art style does. And if you can watch anime, most anime at least, like there is like Studio Ghibli stuff which tends to be more serious and has a much better art style than the vast majority of anime. But if you can watch anime, watch this sort of shit where in most of them the protagonist is like a 14-year-old who like looks like it's just such it's terrible art as well. It looks horrible. It's like made to be mass produced basically. And they have like eyes like this, barely any like facial features or any discernible facial features beyond like the normal ones, like they have a nose and a mouth, and they just look like they're yassified, except they're 14 years old. That's just fucking weird, okay?
Colonialism and apartheid and racism. A lot of these topics are covered in a lot of anime. Like you can see on screen here, like
these topics are also covered in the fucking Hunger Games. Yet if you're obsessed with that when you're 30 years old, it's fucking like there's something wrong with you. Same with like Harry Potter. Harry Potter's a great example. Harry Potter covers very serious themes like slavery, for example. And there are plenty of people who are 40 years old and their identity is based around Harry Potter. And I think exactly the same with them.
All kinds of anime cover topic of war and racism.
Whoa, there's a topic of war. That means it's serious and adult, and you can't like dislike the fact that it covers war through like the eyes of the protagonists who are all fucking 14-year-old girls who look like they're 8.
And stuff like that. Really relevant topics, right? So he doesn't know what he's talking about, obviously. And this is just a simple Google search, right? This doesn't even
look at this Google search. You proved me wrong here.
All anime, right?
Look at these children's books with war themes. This means that it's normal to be obsessed with children's books when you're 40 years old now. It's that simple.
Anime have deeper themes, especially in regards to technology and stuff like that,
Whoa.
right? Which is also very relevant. Like you see all these algorithms and these AIs manipulating people psychologically. That's very relevant, and that is covered in a lot of anime, right? Like
if I wanted to watch The Matrix, but with like a 14-year-old anime girl protagonist, and everyone has like a really squeaky voice, and there's like just an unnecessary love triangle inserted in there. Like I just wouldn't watch that, and I would watch The Matrix instead, okay? Because that's what anime is. Anime that covers serious themes is shit like that.
Serial experiments, Lane and Psychopaths in particular, right? So a lot of deep stuff for...
Like the reason why anime is so bad, I think primarily is for 3 reasons. One, they're catering to pedophiles, so they de-age everyone. It's like a fucking George R.R. Martin book, except an entire genre. It's an incredibly low effort, easy to do art style, easy to animate. It's just, there's very little detail to the vast majority of anime looks like shit. It's very easy. It's like mass produced because, they make like 10, 15 fucking seasons of the same fucking thing and they have to get out on schedule. It's just easy to make. And third, because it's something that's really easy to make, what you get out of it is like these sorts of undercooked, shitty treatments of supposedly serious themes where you get ridiculous shit like the plot is like driven forward by fucking teenagers every single fucking time. All the women have like triangle faces, huge eyes, and of course they like hopelessly, and all of them are hopelessly in love with whichever male protagonist who happens to be the male protagonist of whatever the anime is. It's just like you can't fucking take it seriously. If you showed it to anyone who's not already initiated as like a teenager, they would immediately be like, dude, what the fuck is this? Why are you watching this? There is nothing that any anime has ever done that could not be, and that has not been a million times better done in another medium. That's simple. Like, no, I'm not going to watch your animified version of whatever the fuck, okay? Watch this, watch that. No, I won't do that. I'm not a child like you. You need to grow the fuck up. It's time to stop fucking watching anime. It's time to stop watching animations. It's time to stop watching shit that is just an extension of a market that was originally created for children. That's what anime is. The kids grew up, they were still obsessed with the animations. They started like trying to make animations that were more like acceptable. Like, imagine if Pixar's target demographic, and this is very generous because obviously Pixar is way better than the vast majority of children's anime. Imagine if Pixar, in place of continuing to just make children's shows, started making media that intended to keep the attention of like the original child audience for like 20 or 30 years. Like trying to tackle serious themes and more adult stuff while trying to strike a balance between their original shit that was made for children and the fact that their audience is now 40 years old. That would be fucking weird. Anime is that. Anime is that, except done even worse.
Is an anime, right? It's not just for kids. He just says some bullshit that
it's for adult
really
children,
know about, right? And yeah, he's an idiot for that.
I'm just looking at some of the names of this, like Revolutionary Girl Utena. What kind of a fucking name is that? I have to Google that and like see how scantily clad the main character is. Holy shit! Oh my god, what is wrong with her face? This is your serious war themes anime? It's the exact face that I said. The triangle face, and her eye is so big that it doesn't fit on her head. It goes off the side of her head. Okay. I've had enough. I can't. These people live in a different world to me. I respectfully cannot discuss anything with someone who brings up that as a list of like serious adult themed things ever. I'm sorry, goodbye. But thank you for the free content.